Today we're back on the zombie bike, aka Sage Rush bike, aka 1972 Honda SL125. Hey everybody, I'm Kenny, this is Sagebrush Soul, and we're going to seal up this tank. It's time for this motorcycle to get sold. I got a couple other better candidates. It's been a bunch of fun. I love doing the paint job, but the paint job came off, and I think it's due to an all-in-one, kind of like all-purpose glue, because I know I prepped it good, but I didn't use an actual epoxy primer on this. It was a primer that supposedly does everything. And when I dumped it out to clean it, because the petcock kept getting clogged in this and the fuel filter and gave me all kinds of carburetor problems, the paint got soft and came off. That being said, I want to sell the bike with a good conscience. We're going to change the style of it. I realize this is kind of me. If you go back and watch that video, I used a process that Travis Dieter kind of coined. You should check out his channel. I've met him once, and I just found out him and Troy Daily Monsters they've known each other for a long time. Troy's dad and him are buddies, so hoping to get to hang out with him again. Anyway, I'm going to repaint this. I haven't decided what to do. I'm not going to go with the original paint job because I've got the brown seat and I've got the leather side covers. We'll get that part figured out, but today is all about sealing the tank. I've got the KBS1 because it was more available, not necessarily because it was cheaper. I could just get it here faster. And it's a kit designed for motorcycle tanks, so I don't have a bunch of it that I'm paying for that's probably going to go bad. These cans, apparently once you open them, that's it. I don't know if the Pour 15 version is the same way, but anyway, this was this much. I can't remember. And I think that a similar kit from Pour 15 is about 75 bucks. Again, I would have gone with Pour 15 just because I know it's proven a lot of people have used it, but this was available and I read the reviews on it and it sounds like it does a very good job. But I just want to show you really quick before we start the process, which we're actually going to start tomorrow. I'm just shooting this today. It's a 3-step cleaning. You've got the clean, and we're going to mix that with hot water. So that being said, I don't have a sink in here. I do have access to water, and I got this for like $5 at Goodwill. So that should get the water hot enough, and you mix it 50-50, clean the tank. It also comes with this rust converter they call Blast, and this you put in straight, and we'll probably work it through a few times. And then you let everything dry really good. I'm actually gonna let this dry for a few days because we're gonna be on the road again. The thing I don't have here is duct tape, but I've ordered a genuine Honda gas cap because that one lets the fumes, lets it leak. That probably didn't help anything. And also I'm gonna leave the petcock on because I ordered a more expensive one of those because I replaced the one that came with the bike. And obviously it was probably the same one that somebody replaced somewhere down the line. It doesn't really turn off. So the fuel tap, petcock, whatever you want to call it. So I've got one of those coming. I don't know if it's genuine Honda, but it is more expensive than I think that one was. So I'm gonna go ahead and sacrifice this one. The screw that goes into it is a 6mm by 1. I tested that, got that all figured out. So I'll be able to tap that back out if I get this stuff in the threads. I also grabbed some BBs. I don't know if this will work. I don't really have a bunch of nuts and bolts that I can use. And then I've got a 3-step process. Another Goodwill visit gave me this kind of steam pot colander pasta thingy, boiler. I don't cook much. And that is for, sometimes we're gonna have to go back in and do this a couple of times with these 2 processes. But we can get rid of the debris and the rust and the nuts and the BBs and whatever we decide to throw in here to clean up that tank. And I'll do it with this to get the nuts and everything. And then a little bit smaller mesh to catch some bigger parts that I probably ain't gonna want to throw away if there's any flakiness in here. And then finally we'll run it through a paint strainer, which I have a bunch of these, and you can get those at Harbor Freight. I don't know, I think they're 10 bucks for like 120 of them. I use them all the time. You might not, but anyway, that was the easier thing for me to do. So I really plan on cleaning all that stuff out pretty good. It also came with a little brush to get up in the corners, I'm assuming. And then It came with a set of gloves. I'm probably going to go through a lot more gloves than that, but again, I paint, therefore I have quite a bit of that stuff on hand. But for the 50/50, I'm just going to use a mixing paint cup. You could use anything that has measurements, or even just make a line on a cup or some sort of container. But this, again, goes 50/50. We're going to follow the instructions to the T on this. And I went ahead and got a bucket. Again, I don't have a sink. I'm not sure how biodegradable any of this stuff is. I don't think it's, the conversion stuff I don't think is bad. This, I don't know, but I will dispose of it properly as far as you know. But before we get started, I just want to take a look and show you what I got going on in the tank. It's really not that bad. It was just me storing it with either just a little bit, it got moisture. It's my fault. It was in good shape when I got it. I don't believe there's any pinholes or anything like that we're gonna have to worry about. But once we clean it and convert it, we'll probably find out if there's any weak spots. But I do believe there's a little bit of sludge and gum in here, which is what I understand this does. And then we'll go ahead and do the sealer on it. But again, it's gonna take a while. It'll take about half a day tomorrow with the cleaning and the converting. And then I'm gonna just let it dry really good while we're on the road. And then probably a day to do the sealer. Again, that's not just working on that. I'll be working on other things in between, but you have to rotate them and do things every once in a while. But then we'll start prepping this for paint again. But looking down in the seams there, those little dots I think are just residue. I'm gonna throw my glasses on after we get done with this, but I mean, overall it's not horrible, but we're gonna make it awesome. I just looked at the other side of the tank and it doesn't have much. That must be the side that, no, the bike would have leaned on the side that has no sludge. So I guess just because the fuel tap's on there, it didn't have the propensity to pull up like the other side did. But this stuff will fill some small pinholes. But I may sand that bottom off after we do the cleaning process, just to see if we got any holes coming through there. It's hard to tell with the kind of paint job that I put on it, but you can't really see any bubbling or feel any rust coming through. So hopefully we caught it in time. We'll start on this first thing in the morning. So what we've done to this point is I put 700 milliliters or 24 ounces of hot water in the tank, mixed it with the clean, and it's in here now. I haven't put any abrasives in there yet. It's just hot metal. I'm just kind of shaking it around. I don't have nuts and bolts and stuff like I said to put in there. And these things may suck to get back out. I use a magnet. But I did just clean up a bunch of nails out back where I'm currently parking. So everything, but that's got some harder edges on it. That should help stir up the stuff in there. But the BBs, I thought, I don't cheaper than buying bolts. I don't know how well this will work. I don't know if I can get these open. Okay. Quite aggravating. Open it. Of course, I got the microphone pointed right at it instead of my face. We're trying to knock that sludge and any big flakes off. Mostly the flakes. You don't want that stuff floating around. So we're going to let that soak probably at least 30 minutes. And then we'll empty it. We'll capture everything, strain it, and go at it again if we need to. So we'll be right back. So I did a little reading up on this, reading the label. This doesn't neutralize or remove rust. It's just a cleaner. So now I feel better about letting this sit in here if we have to, if we're not able to get to this step, which we got a really short turnaround. I don't know if I want to leave it in here for a full week, which is about what it'd equate to, more than a week. But if we can't move on to that step, I'm not too worried about leaving this stuff by itself or just letting the tank fully dry. But I would love to get to this step. So again, here in an hour, we're gonna take it all out. I don't know if it's safe to heat that back up. I don't really have a way to do it. Should stop doing that while I'm talking. But anyway, we're gonna let it sit, and then every once in a while, as it penetrates, we'll keep agitating it and seeing what we got. But again, I'm gonna give this till about, I don't know, 10:30. It's not horrible. Like, if it's clean, then we're moving on to the next step, because I think I can get that done inside of about the amount of time that I need to go. So we'll see what happens. The big question is, did I remember to grab my magnet from home so I can get those nails out of the tank? I don't want to make a run to Harbor Freight today. Actually, I do. Labor Day weekend, so big sales. And that's a problem. I tried to be patient, but I want to see what progress we're making, so I'm going to go ahead and open it up. See if I can get all those BBs out. It's going to be fun. I don't know if those BBs are steel or not. Hey, everything came out. Really wanted to get this done today. At least the first two steps, but I rinsed out the tank. I looked at it, and it's definitely got some sludge in it. It is softening up a little bit. Again, I'm hopeful that we don't have to patch it. The good news is we're painting the tank anyway, so I will be able to put an epoxy treatment or something that they're talking about here called new metal epoxy. I don't know, never used it. I've seen people do JB Weld on that, and it holds up. But we're just gonna hope that there are no holes in our tank. And again, now that I know that it's not a chemical reaction that's going on with the tank, it's going to soak in degreaser for a week. I'm going to give it one more just straight boiling water treatment. And I'm doing this because I didn't read that it said shake well before using. So I'm just putting a little bit back in here to make sure that I'm not missing any of the components in there when I put it all back in. It's still kind of warm. And I'm going to let it soak for a week. And that should get all the sludge out. Hopefully I don't come back to a puddle underneath the tank. But I don't think I will. Like, even when I kind of agitated it a little bit with a tool that I made. This right here. I can feel the gumminess of it. It's breaking loose. But I think we'll just let that stuff do its job. This is probably overkill. You probably don't have to do this. I'm just straining all of the degreaser before I put it back in the tank. But I'm going to boil some water a couple more times, get the tank good and warm, so at least it'll have that to work on, see if I can agitate that stuff a little bit more. But other than that, we'll let her soak. It's all in the bottom. I think I got all of the stuff loose, and then we'll go over it one more time when I get back, and then we'll do this treatment. So see you in a little over a week. Well, it hasn't quite been a week, but I found a little time. Just got back. We did. My voice sounds different because the 2 days are really awesome announcing, but strenuous. But we did the East Idaho State Fair and Twin Falls County Fair, and I'm on my way back, and I got a meeting in like 10 minutes that I'm going to do from here, but kind of curious. I know you guys love that sound. Probably not. It's like 4 days of degreasing. Oh, they're just bubbles. And I don't want this stuff on my nice shirt. You're seeing a lot of suds. Yeah, still got quite a bit of sludge on there, and I'm hoping that there isn't some other treatment, because it feels like there's something kind of, I don't know, like a layer of something that could just all be gas stuff. So BBs are not doing it for obvious reasons. They're round and they're just rolling around back there. I was thinking that agitation would do enough for it, but what I'm doing is I got the pot with the degreaser in the sun right now, and I'm thinking they actually sell, I don't know if they sell these parts individually. I think they do. Well, we are back, and I'm becoming more and more confident in the fact that this has probably had a sealer in it before. The stuff in the bottom, it's not softening up. It's still quite hard. I think that that's an old sealer. So I should have ordered, because the KBS says to use their stripper, and I should have ordered it. My paint jobber carries, which I didn't realize, they carry the kit, but they don't carry the stripper, but they do carry this, and I'm hoping this is enough. I think that the next step, if I'm going to make this thing succeed, is going to be to go ahead. I'm going to pour this whole thing in here. I'm going to try to catch it after. I still forgot to get gloves. There's so many things when you're setting up a new shop that you don't think about getting. Hopefully this will take care of it. Hopefully I determine that there's a previous stripper in there, and I can kind of tell on the hump inside here. Oh, it's burning my eyes. It's not coming out. It's very elasticy, rubbery. So what I did is I put the stripper back in. I'm not going to be able to get down here. I might get down here tomorrow afternoon. I think that's what I'll try for, but I'm going to let it sit overnight. Probably a horrible idea. Probably shouldn't let that stuff sit in there that long, but it is pretty well sealed. You don't want it to dry on anything. I am going to clean it really good. I got some super clean now that's a good degreaser and rust, and should be probably as good as the this. Same kind of thing. But until I can get that stuff worked out there, I'm wondering if it was leaking on that other side. I probably should sand the bottom of it. I don't think I got anything here to do it. Yeah, I do. It's just going to be a little aggressive. I'm going to have to be careful, but I might sand bottom down. But again, I don't remember seeing anything underneath there when I had it all stripped. I took it all the way down to metal, and I think I'd have spotted a pinhole. I mean, they are what they are, but I think I'd have seen it. So I don't know if somebody treated it, or I can't tell, but there's not like a consistent amount coming off anywhere else in the tank. So I think we'll be good. I just need to get that goo off the bottom. It's obviously, well, it could be sludge, but it's soft now. I'm able to wiggle into it. I thought leaving that stuff on there for an hour would have just completely got after it, but we'll let it go like that, and I think we'll be able to aggressively clean it afterward. But I got lots of stuff to do in the shop tomorrow. The other shop, not my shop. Work stuff to do tomorrow, so maybe we can come down and make a night of it. I don't know. We'll see. But I got about another 4 hours into this, and we're no further along than we were before. Well, we are. I take that back. I got a lot of the gunk out of there. Some of it's being stubborn, but the worst side, this side, I got done, and then the other side I'd been watching the whole time where the petcock is, and it's like, oh, that one's good. Like, it's not that bad. But I got a little wad of gunk right back in here. And this is kind of what it is. I had the camera in there. I went up. I tried to make little scraper tools. I tried these. I actually went up through the one little, like this has a teeny tiny hole for the petcock, and got in there and got that out. But this is the remainder of this, and it's squishy. I don't know what it is. I don't think that's gas varnish. I don't think it's sludge. This is the nastiness that came out of the tank. I think that the paint stripper's pretty well used up. It did everything it could. I mean, that's gnarly. It was clear when I put it in. I don't know whether to get more of that. I'm really wanting to be done with this thing because, again, it's going up for sale, but I'm so far into it now that I don't know. But I've tried everything I can to get everything out of here. The only other thing that I can think of is I can't find any pinholes. I did sand the one side of that down a little bit more. Can't find any pinholes, any problems. Does it need to be sealed? Could I just treat it with vinegar? I want to do the video, and I want this tank to be sealed. But again, this is what I think, is that somebody put some kind of sealer, probably a predecessor to these better products that I'm assuming are better now. I don't know. I see a lot of people doing it. I've done everything I can to get it out. I am out of time. Paint's ready. I got to go get ready, packed. Got to do some stuff with the merch trailer. So it's going to sit for 4 more days. All I can think to do is see what the Super Clean will do on it. And I'm going to go 100%. No, just 100% Super Clean. Maybe I'll put it back out again. I don't know. I don't know if it's sludge, which I think would have broke down by now. It'll work on it. I don't know. This is dissolves grease. Paint remover, it is not. And I feel like that's what I'm dealing with. But I'm so surprised that, like, how much it does not want to come off. Like, this was a wrestling match to get it loose. So I don't think I'm going to go paint stripper again because it's expensive. This, not so much, but I'm going to go full strength, put a lot of it in, and I guess I'm going to leave it for 4 days. Almost 5. We're headed to Coeur d'Alene for a show, and then I got to divert into Montana to go do a site visit. So I may stop back on Monday and look at it, but I don't know that I'll have time or energy. And we'll try that, and I'll see you when I see you. I think I finally got all the stuff out of there. I tried everything. I mangled one of these to try to get up in here and get it. The last bit of gunk was right in this corner, and I could not get to it with anything. Tried wire, and it was just a nasty, rubbery. If you've ever worked with paint stripper before, it was kind of that stuff. But it would not come off. It was, I could get a hold of it, but I couldn't tear it loose. Kind of like the other footage that I showed you of that. So what I did is wound up propping the tank up like this and putting acetone in it. I didn't have any lacquer, or I'd have probably gone that route, because all I could think of is like a adhesive remover or something to break that down, because I couldn't physically do it. So I tried to do it chemically, and I soaked it like that for 4 days in acetone, and it finally broke it down enough that I was able to get it out. I can't find any residue in there. I'm gonna tell you what, I found a handful of tanks on eBay. Anything that was half decent was a minimum of 300 bucks. So I was already this far invested in it. That I can find, there's not another tank you could swap it out with. I'm not gonna say it's not worth it, but I mean, I'm backwards in it, so good thing I need it for content. But by the time I get this motorcycle sold, I don't know if I'm gonna get more than 1,200 bucks out of it or so. I gave my daughter 1,000 because she gave 800, and I knew she could use the money. But with all the work that I've done to it, parts and things like that, I don't even know. Fortunately, most of the paint I had, so that's not new investments, but a couple $100 into the seat. I just hope I can get it to where somebody can enjoy it, get it running good, and get it out of my way. What I'm doing now is sealing it all back up, and we are gonna, I gotta get some gloves here. We're gonna put the zinc in it. So the first thing to do is to shake it. And so this is a rust converter. So this is gonna help kind of etch the tank. And it's going to take whatever surface rust there is in there, and I think it turns it to zinc. I think it's a chemical reaction that this stuff does. We're going to coat all of the surfaces, and I'm going to move it into the shade. I got it in the light. Oh, I did start. I'm probably going to wind up paint stripping the tank, but there is a section of Bondo in here. I don't want to get the paint stripper on because I'm not going to re-Bondo it. I'm going to just scuff it, and then, but I got to take it all back down to metal for that etching primer so that this doesn't happen again. That epoxy primer. This sucks because I'm going to lose a little bit. Glad I found that original gas cap to keep that from happening again. This stuff's been in here now for about an hour. And I don't know. I think it seems like it said in the instructions to you could recollect it. Curious what we've got. We're going to do the paint strainer trick again just because I want to see how much garbage. Oh, it's the right color. Yeah, there's a little more stuff coming out of there. Oh, filled it right up. There's still some stuff in there. I would love to start the sealing process right now, but I think I'm going to let that dry at least for overnight. I think it said the label says you can leave it for like 30 days, but the instructions on that came with it, I think it said no more than 10 to let it fully dry and etch and do whatever it's going to do. You don't want to, I don't think you have to neutralize it, but hold up 1 second. You do have to rinse it after you put the blast in. This is the third time I got back to the shop. I had to redo it. So rinse with water after you blast right away. Made a big difference in here. I don't know that this was rusted all that bad. to be honest. But if I remember right, it says not to use heat to get it to evaporate, but I think I am gonna sand on it a little bit more. See if I can find that Bondo in there. Of course, now that got on, I don't know how bad that's going to contaminate it, but we'll do a little sanding. Long story short, rinse it after, and I probably flushed it with about 20 gallons of water just to make sure we got it done right, and to get all the gunk out. And there was gunk, and I re-agitated it with the BBs, and it worked really good. BBs probably aren't really good for like scarring it, but for knocking stuff loose, they so far have worked really good. They're all out of here. Now we're just drying it. It's close. I think it needs to be like, ideally, probably like 75 to 85 degrees, and that's what we're gonna hit today. But don't do it in the direct sunlight, according to the instructions. You get it right? I'll be back when it's dry. Now that we're up against the wall and we're doing a zombie hunt, which oddly enough is what inspired the bike in the first place, that all just happened in the last few days actually. But we're getting ready to go into a zombie hunt. Maybe I'll put it up for sale out there. There's a thought. But instead of the sagebrush thing, I'm gonna do something with this, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna mask it and protect it so that it looks like clean brushed metal or something on the graphics. What else have I got in here? I got a whole bunch of stuff. Oh, I got some rivets. That's for the golf cart. And these are just non-weeded Honda stuff. But yeah, I'm gonna actually go. I got some pictures. I'm gonna go play with it and see what we potentially could make that look like in Photoshop. But we are gonna go stick with the rusty theme. Then I don't have to change the side covers. I don't have to change, pull the fenders off and paint them. In the meantime, I'm gonna get the bike running. But as far as sealing the tank goes, we're done. there it is. It's all set. I did come back. The unmasking went way better on the other side. That's the side you watched me screw up and gouge up. I think all my materials were still just too soft. It's a little cool despite, you know, trying to kind of bake them with the propane heater a little bit. I think time is what it's going to take, but I got high hopes for this stuff. This is the same clear coat I used on the Bomber Junior on the nose piece of that. So I'm hoping that it's way better, and that's part of it, but it does take a long time. I was able to spray through some of the fisheye, the dry spots, but again, miraculously, no runs. Oh, and then I went in and just pulled a few more black details. I don't know. I think it added to it. Good in some places, maybe not so much in others. I think I got a little carried away along the top of the tank there. But for all in all, it's done. But I do need to just leave it. I'm going to let it sit out here tonight where it's a little cooler. I'm going to let that clear coat continue to run down and see if any of those other defects go away. I've got to get this thing for sale, so I don't have time to completely wet sand it. But I do think I got plenty of clear on there so that if somebody does, after it's cured, then they would be able to do that without too much problem. But it's sealed. It's I got the new parts over there. Again, I can't put those on, but we'll close this out with it all assembled. And thank you so much for watching. I know this probably was hard to watch. Maybe you're not watching. This was a way longer project than I thought it was going to be. Even just the painting part. I thought I was going to get it done in a weekend. Spanned 4 months. My hair's longer. You can see the shop set up different. So that's how long it took. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Kenny. This is Sagebrush Soul, and may the best of your past be the worst of your future.